Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today I want to talk about my initial impressions of MultiVersus, the most recently released platform fighter by Player First Games and published by WB. I'm going to try and refrain from calling it a Smash clone, but I do apologise if that happens to come up during this video. But yeah, I want to talk about my first impressions. I think I've put hang on, let's find out because I have it here while I'm recording this. I have put in 2 hours into this game, and this game's still in beta, but I put 2 hours into this game and I've played probably about 20 matches online roughly, and I feel like I can give a decent first impression of what this game is and how it handles and how it feels to play. Now, I want to make this very, very clear going in. If you didn't know, I'm a massive Super Smash Bros. Fan. Hugely biased towards those games in the sense that those games play how I want them to play. I'm used to how they play. And so there are a few things in this video that I may touch on and compare to Smash. Now, I want to make this clear that I understand that Smash Bros. Had a ton of money chucked in it. This has had money chucked in it, but maybe not to the same fidelity, and this is also a smaller team. This isn't this isn't like half of Bandai Namco and Nintendo making it, okay? So I want to make that very, very clear now, but there are some comparisons I would like to pull from Smash. So if you don't mind, let's just talk about the game, and then we'll get to that stuff later on. So, first off, I've got to say, this is a really fun game. This is, many of the platform fighters that I think that subgenre or genre of fighting games are a lot of fun because there's a lot of movement, a lot of aerial combat, and so on and so forth. If you want to know what other games I've played that are similar, I've played Brawlhalla, I've played Brawlout, but I've not played Rivals of Aether, so I can't speak to that, and I've played obviously Smash and this. Those are the big ones that I've played. Brawlout was okay. I've talked about that game before having no impact on attacks. Brawlhalla I kind of liked, but it felt very floaty. And now MultiVersus is the newest one that I've played. So, let's talk about the good things about this game. This game is genuinely fun to play. It's very silly, like it should be in this style of game. It's very fun. The core gameplay, apart from some minor things that I'll get onto later, genuinely works really well and plays well. I have only really played 2 characters in the game as of the time of recording this, and you'll see the footage in the background will hopefully be of both those characters. I've only really played Superman and I've only really played Bugs Bunny, mainly because Superman's on free rotation with a couple of other characters, and Bugs Bunny is just a character that I like as a character, so I wanted to play him. The other character I would really like to play is Tom and Jerry, and I have messed around with him a little bit in the lab mode because he lets you play them all, but I haven't been able to play him in actual matches. So the actual game, how does it handle? I have it set to legacy controls, so it's kind of similar to the Smash Brothers controls in the sense that you have a button for your normal attacks, you have a button for your special, and then I use the Y button to jump, and then the moves come out directionally. So if you don't push any directions and you push the normal attack, you have your standard jab combo normally, and then the different directions do your stronger attacks, and you can hold the button down to do a stronger version of that attack. And then for me, I'm playing on a 360 controller or Xbox One controller. So yeah, B is my normal attacks, and then A button is special, and then you have the neutral special, side special, up and down generally. So it has that standard. Everyone plays the same in that sense. The controls are the same across the board, but the characters themselves handle very differently. If I talk about Superman for a minute, he is a tank style character. I think they have Tank, Bruiser, Mage, and there might be one other experimental or something. I've only really played Tank and Mage. I haven't really played. I played a bit of Shaggy in the lab. Your Bruiser is your kind of standard kind of character. The thing about Shaggy, he's kind of like your Ryu of the game. He's got an uppercut and a kick, and he's definitely one of the easier characters to use. He's actually a lot of fun. But yeah, Superman is like a tank character, and I found with Superman they've given him aptly named Super Armor. So what that means is this character can tank hits when he's charging up attacks. And I will find that Superman's kind of he is slower, but he's kind of a bit nuts. I don't know if he does insane amount of damage like some of the other characters, but I found that Superman, you can just kind of walk forward and punch and do that with him. But to me, he's one of the easier characters to use. He might even be rated as easy in the game. Bugs Bunny, on the other hand, is a very difficult character to use in the sense that he has very wacky moves. Like, he's got very cartoony moves, so he's got like a baseball bat, a mallet, you can drop a safe on someone's head, you can dig underground. But I like how he plays as well, but he is much more of a like item-based character. So you have this, for example, you can dig into a box of goodies, find something, chuck it out, and then there's a cooldown before you can do it again. So he's got a bit of a higher skill ceiling. But those two characters I've really enjoyed playing. I find them very, very fun. And the cast of characters itself is pretty mixed. You've got like the Iron Giant from the Iron Giant. You've got your DC characters in like Superman, Wonder Woman, Harley Quinn, Batman. You have Jake and Finn from Adventure Time. You got Bugs Bunny and Taz from Looney Tunes. Arya Stark from Game of Thrones. Rain Dog being the original character. There's a mix of characters. LeBron James, which I will be honest is just like, don't really care. But overall, like, there's a good mix of characters, and a lot of them play very differently. I'm not entirely sure every character is made equal. There are some things that I'm kind of like questioning in terms of moves and what's good and what not. But, you know, it's too early to speak about balance, really. Like, anyone complaining about balance at the moment, it's like, guys, the game's just like come out into open, like properly into open beta. Give it like a month, 2 months, and then we'll talk about that. But overall, the gameplay is fun. If you're expecting a Smash style or platform fighter style, a lot of aerial movement, a lot of jumping around, doing aerial moves as well as grounded moves, you've got that right here. The game moves at quite a fast pace to the point where even I am struggling to keep up with things. But it's a very smooth flowing game. I have run into some lag online, like serious lag, but that was only like 2 matches. For the most part, the game actually runs really well. It does have rollback netcode, so it does a very good job of, you know, not having too many issues with animations looking wonky and stuff. Again, I have run into some of that, but again, it's a very, very small amount of it. And the game primarily is a 2v2 game, which, to be honest, I think if you're getting new to this style of game, play 1v1 because it's far less chaotic. Learn how some of the characters play and then go into 2v2, because I know each character has a buff of some kind when playing 2v2. Like, if you're playing Bugs Bunny, you can dig a hole across the stage and your ally can go in the hole and pop out the other side and stuff. If you're playing Rain Dog, you can like latch onto someone and pull them back so they don't go off stage too far. Like, there's a whole different meta in 2v2, and it's a really cool idea, actually. It's a really good like gimmick to like sell the game. That every character will do something. Shaggy can power people up. LeBron James, I think you can pass the ball to somebody else and then you can take the ball and chuck it at someone. Like, they're cool ideas for sure. But it is a bit mental when you first play it. But I want to, like, overall, I do think this is a very good free-to-play for the most part. Like, I don't want to go into like the monetization just yet. We'll get to that later. But like, in terms of raw gameplay, the game's actually fun. There's no real items. I mean, there's items that you can kind of get from the characters, but not like in Smash where you can pick up like items from different games. It's primarily focused on just the combat. And the game feels, you know, fairly tight. Like I said, it feels very tight, and as platform fighters go, this is a solid entry. I do think there are some improvements to be had, which we'll get onto. But overall, before I start sort of getting into the nitty-gritty of things that I'd like to see improved, like, I just want to make this clear: if this is free to play, if you're interested in playing this game, absolutely go and do it. I think you'll have a good time with it. And like I said, if you like some of these characters, very, very good. There are, however, some things that I would like to go over that I think need some addressing as the game goes on. First off is the controls. Now, if you have ever played a platform fighter and you know about the directional inputs that change your moves. So, for example, in this game, if you are Bugs Bunny and you push the normal attack button to do a neutral attack, he does like almost like a boxing, you know how boxers like smack the speed bag, like a spin in his hands, and then he punches out of it. That is his neutral move. If you hold the side button, instead he pulls out a hammer, swings a hammer. And if you do it, hold up and do it, he does a kick. Now, this is all really cool, like, I'm glad they have these moves. However, there are many, many times in this game where I've gone to, I'll hold forward to bring out the hammer and he does the neutral attack. Or I'll jump into the air to do his up air, which is, he brings out a baseball bat, swings it up, and he doesn't. Instead, he'll do the neutral attack. Now, I'm not quite sure what's happening here, whether I'm being too slow, too fast, do I need to adjust the dead zones? But this is probably the most frustrating thing about this game, because this isn't a game, like, you can't combo as easily as I think you can in other platform fighters. It's very easy to get hit and then regain control almost instantly. There probably is some combos, like true combos in this game, but I've not really found any myself, or I might not be playing the right characters. But from what I can tell, like, you don't have a high opportunity to combo. Like, you can definitely juggle people, but it's a lesson of, like, you hit them up, now they can either dodge or they can choose to tap back. It's like kind of that rock, paper, scissors thing. So I've not really found a huge opportunity to combo. Like, there are some there, but personally I've not really come across that while playing the game. And not being able to consistently pull out the move that I want to is frustrating. Like, if I'm on a level with a platform, I knock someone into the air, I want to jump up, hit them with the baseball bat, land, jump up again, hit them with the baseball bat if I can. And for sometimes the bugs wanting to do a spinning attack instead of the baseball bat is pretty infuriating. And it is my biggest gripe with the game. Like, other than that, everything else I'm going to talk about is quite minor. But it is just like, I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. I need to put more time into it. 2 hours probably isn't enough. Maybe I need to adjust the dead zones on the controller. But I should never feel like I'm doing, like, if I feel like I'm pushing up on the attack button, that's what should be responded. So I don't know what's happening there. It could be to do with the, in these games they have like a buffer system usually, so maybe it's not reading my inputs correctly, or the buffer's just really fast and it's sort of skipping over some of my inputs. I honestly do not know. All I know is that it's infuriating. Like, when I play something like Smash, 99% of the time, there are a couple times where it's my own fault really, but 99% of the time I can pretty much put it in any direction and the game's going to do the move that I want it to do. Whereas in this, okay, look, just far too often the wrong move comes out and I'm just like, I'm not sure why that's happened. Like, I don't know what's going on there. So that to me absolutely needs to be fixed. I don't know what needs to be tweaked there, but that's my biggest issue with the game. Everything else is, like I said, kind of minor. Game, I honestly think is just a bit too chaotic. There's the small stages just get crazy instantly, and for someone who has played like Smash Melee and like basically all the Smash games, to turn around and say this game is a bit too fast and chaotic is kind of weird. It feels weird saying that because I'm used to the crazy style of gameplay, but I don't know, I just sometimes find myself getting lost looking at the characters. It's something I think I just need to get used to. Just be prepared going into this that you just be like, where the hell am I? Like, what's going on kind of thing. It is nuts. And I think 1v1 alleviates that. I haven't tried 1v1, but I think that'll be a lot easier time to get into the game. One other thing that's really, I guess, kind of minor, it depends on how you are, that I've had some issues with some of the animations and some of the visual clarity in this game. Like, I couldn't put my finger on it, but like in Smash, if you have a sword fighter and you swing a sword, you generally have quite a lot of, like, there's a lot to see with that animation, so you can kind of tell what, like, if you were playing as Ike, for example, in Smash, and you do an up smash, you know, you see him charging and he does the swing, it's very obvious to see it's a swing. Some attacks from certain people, I haven't really, I'm looking at it and I'm like, is that an attack? Like, where's the hitbox on that? And that's probably, like, more a, like, if you're just playing it casually, you probably don't care about that sort of stuff. It's just an issue that I'm having where I'm like, I don't know, you know, I'm still learning the game, admittedly. Like, I'm not saying this is a problem with the game, it's just, I almost wish there was a bit more visual clarity on some things. Maybe, like, I don't know, some way to, like, show where the attack is going on and stuff. Like, playing Superman, like, you know, you can do the punches and stuff. Some of his swings have, like, almost like motion blur behind them, or like animations of, like, his arm moving really quickly. So it's quite easy to tell what Superman's doing. Like, if I do a forward punch, you can tell, like, oh, he's charged up, he's done a forward punch. The animation shows the movement there. Whereas, like, some of the characters at the moment, I'm like, I have no idea. Like, it's almost like the attacks are so fast and the animations are so fast. I'm like, I don't know what's hitting me. I don't know, like, you know, what to expect from him. And I know that a lot of these characters have weird, very, very weird movesets, but it's definitely, there's something I would love to see improved there a little bit on the visual clarity of moves, just to make it a little bit more obvious, like, what's, you know, like, I don't know, I think it's like, maybe it's hit sparks that you need, maybe it's just having some kind of animation to sort of show, like, making things a bit bigger and bolder, just to show that those attacks are out and things. Like, I completely appreciate that, again, this is stuff that I might just come to learn, but these are the things that I've picked up on in those couple of hours of playing, in those 20 or so matches I've played. The visuals are something that a lot of the time when I'm fighting and I'm fighting another character, I'm looking at what I'm doing. I kind of know some of the attacks of some of these characters now, but like it's really hard to keep up and figure out like what am I doing, what are they doing. Like it just comes from a lot of learning basically. So to be honest, those are mostly the minor things I have with the game. Like I think the game genuinely is a really solid platform fighter. I think a lot of people are going to really like it. It's going to massively depend on who they add on this game and how often, and if there are potential balance issues. But so far, I've had fun playing it. Now, apart from the controls and the animation stuff, which I think are the things that need the most tweaking, one other thing is that obviously this is a free-to-play game. There are microtransactions in this game. If you haven't heard, it costs about $300 to buy. There's like stuff that you can only buy and you can't unlock through coins. Now that might have changed with the battle pass. I don't know because I haven't looked at what these items are. If that is the case, that sucks. Don't do that. That's really awful. But actually, the one thing I want to talk about is this game will give you Wonder Woman for free if you complete the tutorial, which is really, really cool. However, the game doesn't even give you Shaggy, who has been on the box art and almost like the character that's like one of the easiest characters to play as. Let people have that character. Honestly, I think that is a huge blunder on their mistake on their part. Personally, what I would like it to be is let me pick the character I want to start with. The characters that I like are Tom and Jerry, because I grew up with that. Bugs Bunny, but Bugs is 2,000 gold. Tom and Jerry is 3,000 gold. Now, I will say, early on, I've got a lot of gold, so it's not an issue. I've managed to unlock Bugs Bunny, and I'm not, you know, I won't be too far off from getting Tom and Jerry, but I'm very curious to see how much of that continues when it comes to the gold. And I've really kind of gotten to that point with free-to-play games. I really don't like this method of like, here you go, like you got the free rotation, that's fine, but you make some of these characters like more expensive than others, and I'm just like, why can't they all be the same price? If you want to make them all 2,000 gold, do that, because I bet you anything, like I haven't looked at the Iron Giant, but he's probably more expensive than anybody else, or is at the max price because he's the newest character. Same with LeBron, I guess. But it is frustrating. I don't like that method at all. Like, I would rather be given the option, be like, oh, you can pick one character, and let me go into the lab, let me play with some of these characters, because you can go into the lab and play any character that's in the game. So that's really cool. But I do think that they should be like, the game should let you have Shaggy for one, Wonder Woman if you want to do it as well, and then let me pick one other character. So I have a choice of characters to start with. Or maybe get rid of Wonder Woman, give me Shaggy, and then let me pick one other. Because it's just annoying. It's just really annoying that I might have, like, I pick Superman because he's on the free rotation at the moment. And it's just annoying that I'm like, he is fun, and he's a character that's kind of like Unga Bunga. You just kind of punch, and like that's kind of it, and he's quite easy to use. But I shouldn't be penalized for playing that character, like for not being able to play a character I want to play. Like, just let people have one. Give them one choice, right? And then you can charge the gold for it. Like, that's fine. Because I absolutely would have picked Bugs or Tom and Jerry from the start and not even bothered with Superman and just learned to play that character. And I've got a friend of mine who's playing it who basically played Shaggy the entire time in before the open beta, and then they locked him off, so he then had to buy that character. And I'm like, that's a bit shit. Like, that's my biggest gripe when it comes to free-to-play games like this, MOBAs and other things like that. It's like, just let people have, like, you know, let people have the character. Like, give them one thing. It's like, oh, you want to keep using this character? Here's your one free unlock, or you can use it on somebody else. I think that would be, like, awesome if they did that. But overall, my initial impressions of this game are good. I think this is a very, very, very solid and fun game. Is it going to replace Smash for me? Absolutely not. Alright, I admit that Smash Bros. Is, like, a little better. It's like the creme de la creme, right? And that is a game that has a ton of money pumped into it and all this other stuff, right? This game's going to have money pumped into it, but it's not going to have that, you know, visual quality and these other things, right? This game is made by a smaller team who is making a free-to-play fighter, and they're going to keep adding to it. And this is, if they can just make some tweaks to this gameplay, I think this is a very, very solid. Right now, this is your 7, your 8 out of 10 kind of game, right? I don't think it's higher than that because, you know, the issues that I've talked about. But if over time they add in, you know, they tweak things, or at least let you adjust things, like potentially those controls, which again could be something that I can do, and they maybe make the animations just a bit more obvious as to what's going on, I think you're looking at a very, very solid game. Obviously, the monetization is a bit off, but you know, we've come to expect that from free-to-play. So let's see if they improve on that, because they have that and the battle pass is a bit much, but we'll see how they go with it. But if you are looking to get into a platform fighter, I would say this is a good one to start with, but make sure that you maybe like go in, like figure out the characters that you want to play first, or the ones that are on free rotation. Maybe do some 1v1 or free-for-all or versus AI. Just give yourself a chance to kind of get to grips with how fast the game is. Because when I jumped into multiplayer, I was like, oh my god, this is really quick. I don't know what half my attacks are, or what I'm doing, all this sort of stuff. So, but overall, I'm very impressed. From all the gameplay I'd seen, I was thinking this game's going to be a bit wonky. It's not as tight as Smash, which, you know, I would prefer. And there have been a few times with the animations, I'm just like, they could use some improvement. But they're saying it's still an open beta, so we'll see how things go. But overall, a fun experience and a game that I will probably continue to play on and off for a while. I'm trying to get some more people into it and see how how they get on fair with it and if they're enjoying it. And I will probably, once I've maybe put 10 hours, 20 hours in, come back and maybe make another video on it and maybe record some matches and show that on the channel and stuff like that. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, that is my thoughts, early impressions of MultiVersus, the most recent free-to-play platform fighter available. If you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more content like this, hit subscribe. Links for Facebook and Twitter will be down below in the description as always. And like I said, I will most likely be doing a follow-up video and possibly some matches, so you guys can enjoy that. And until next video, I will see you then.